Hey people, hot dog here. Today we're going to be talking about Mythic Crown of the Cosmos. To give some context, this was the day before Hall of Fame closed. So this is the version of the fight before the nerf or the buff or whatever they did to this boss this week. This is a Holy Priest POV. I didn't really see that many Holy Priest POVs on YouTube, so I figured I'd put mine out there and kind of yap about my thought process going into the fight and also just as a healer in general. I'm not going to go over all the mechanics because there's probably like 100 videos that will do that better than I could do it. So I'm mostly, like I said, just going to be talking about what I'm doing as a healer. So to begin, we're pretty much going to stay stacked on top of that square person right there, Jet Streak. This is mainly to avoid dropping puddles in bad spots and like spreading the arena in crap. You'll see later in this phase that we kind of did a bad job of positioning all the puddles and it just gets really awkward really fast. So it's really important not to fuck that up. So as a healer, the main thing that you're looking out for in P1 is the heal absorbs that are going out. And you can see that on my raid frames in red. Something that pretty much all the healers are going to have to work together on to take care of. They're pretty dangerous, especially with all the random AoE damage that's going out. So what we were doing was essentially healing as fast as possible. And anytime somebody with the heal absorb went underneath like 50% HP, we would just cleanse it and let it go on somebody else. And hopefully it would pick somebody who was a bit healthier. If you end up in a situation where you have somebody who has the heal absorb and the silver arrow mechanic, you essentially just want to instantly cleanse them because it's just so much damage going out at the same time that the chances of them dying is pretty high. You'll see throughout the video I'm trying to stay as close to the square as possible, just so that we can keep the puddles in the relatively same area. I didn't play perfectly on that one. I definitely had some moments where I was just kind of off in my own section, but I tried my best. And the main thing is just to make sure that you're putting the puddles to the edges of the arena so they don't completely cover the arena and then you just run out of space to stand, which is what happens at the end of this phase, you'll see. And as you'll see here, I'm just focusing on healing the heal absorbs off people, making sure people are topped off. You're going to see already that the puddles are kind of in an awkward spot. Like there's this puddle right in the middle of the arena and then there's one like way ahead of me with the obelisk right next to it. So this is pretty bad right now. We're all like kind of stacked in between three puddles right now, and then I get the puddle mechanic here. And this is just awful right now. Thankfully I'm playing Void Elf, so I can kind of get out of this situation. I think if I was playing literally any other race, I probably would have been screwed there. And now we're starting the intermission phase, which is it's always lovely to play an intermission phase where it's all about mobility as a priest and you don't really have any good, mobility options to get you out of a tough spot. But yeah, your main goal here isn't so much healing as it is just to stay alive. There's really not a lot of damage going out, so as long as everybody's doing everything correctly. You mainly want to stay with the group as much as possible. Pretty much any time I died was because I kind of fell behind and I tried to take a bad arrow and then I ended up getting hit by one of the blue orbs and then I died. So do your best to stay like in the middle of the group. And that's basically it. And now we're starting the beginning of phase 2. So phase 2 is pretty straightforward as a healer. You're mainly just worried about positioning and making sure that you're standing in the right spot for each mechanic. So for the obelisks, we're making sure that we're staying on the right side to bait those out, and then as soon as those go out, we go on the left side to bait the puddles dropping. Pretty much the main way you can screw this up for your raid is just like being in the wrong spot and then dropping a puddle way too far away, and then all of a sudden you run out of space. Or fucking up the silver arrow mechanic, but fortunately for me, I just did not get picked for literally any of the mechanics on phase 2, which probably isn't great for the sake of the video, but for the sake of the kill, it was pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. So pretty much all of phase 2 is just this back and forth dance of beating obelisks far away and then coming back in, and you're pretty much gonna see me do that over and over again until phase 2 is over. The biggest thing that kills people in this phase is just getting hit by the obelisks, because either they're not paying attention and they line up with them, or whoever has the obelisk kind of like wiggles at the last second and ends up like clipping somebody else with the arrow. which happens a lot. And it's probably going to be like the bulk of your wipes. People definitely get a little low during this part. There's just a lot of healing that's required. And I think at one point we missed one of the simulacrums, which just increases the amount of like rot damage everybody takes. So I ended up burning like a ton of mana in this phase. And by the end of the kill, I think I was legit at like 2% mana. So it's a tough fight. So we're about to gate over to the final stage of P2. Pretty much just the same thing over and over again. Make sure that you're positioning in the right spots. This is the point where we get the double simulacrums, so you'll see that there's just a lot of damage going out at the exact same time. Luckily, we have some pumpers in the guild, so we were able to get through this without anybody dying, even though people get really close throughout this fight. It's also worth mentioning that I'm trying to keep an eye on the energy bar underneath Illyria, because she does a knockback as she enters the next phase, and that has definitely killed some of us in our attempts. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't also die from that as well. So as soon as these obelisks go out, we're going to go into the intermission, going into phase 3. As you can see, we lived through this phase without anybody dying, but my mana is pretty low, so at this point I'm trying to be very conscious of how much mana I spend going into the fights. A fun thing for this part right here is I don't have any mobility options to get across the platform because we have to do it natty. We're going to use the Warlock Gate on the one after this. So a dragon is assigned to take me across on this one. Once we get across, I'm basically making sure I don't get sniped by the obelisk charges, and then I'm going to go to the edge of the platform so that we can drop off the orbs. It's pretty much similar to phase 1 and 2, where it's just all about positioning, making sure you're not sniping people with obelisks, and making sure that you're dumping the puddles off. Once we've baited these puddles, we're going to meet in the middle of the platform for the tether mechanic. At this point, it's really important to have the heal absorb taken care of, because you're going to be taking even more damage. So you definitely don't want these things to overlap, or else it's definitely going to kill somebody. And you'll see here that our demon hunter almost dies because he has the heal absorb on him as the tethers are breaking. So we got a little lucky there that he didn't die, because that would have been really bad for us. That's a lot of damage we would have lost in P3. As soon as we finish that, we're just waiting for the raid leader to call the gate mechanic. We're trying to build as much damage as possible on this platform, and then we're going to fly across. So something worth mentioning on this particular platform is that this is the mini boss that's spawning that has the interrupting shout. I would definitely recommend attaching some sort of sound alert to the interrupting shout, because the last thing you want is to get caught casting and then get stuck in silence for like 6 seconds while all this AoE damage is going out. And I was able to do that through the Bigwigs add-on. Other than that, this platform is just a repeat of the last one. You're going to be baiting the orbs. Once the orbs are baited, you're going to meet in the middle for tethers, and then as soon as the tether mechanic goes out, you're going to break them in sequence, and then move on to the next platform. Warlock Gate is like on cooldown, so I'm going to get rescued again by another dragon, and then we're going to start the very last platform and hopefully kill the boss.
Go inner ring. Go.
Stay on this inner ring for a second.
I'm popping immediately. Taunt.
Yep, got it.
We melee in 3, 2, 1. Pop. Range in 2, 1. Pop.
Grab Warlock. Right.
Ranged up top. DPS pots. Finish up the end. Watch that obelisk.
Does any priest have grip?
Kill the ads.
I do not. I use it on you.
Pots are up.
I will
Kill
call
the
it in
ads.
3, 2,
Bait.
1. Grip me. Never mind.
Bait. We're coming to middle for tethers. We're all living here. Anyone dies, you rest them.
Yep. Melee, get ready for pop.
Everything you have.
Melee in 3, 2, 1. Melee pop. Range in 2, 1. Range
Use
pop.
any defensive you have.
Tank in
I'm
2.
gonna hold. I'm gonna hold.
1. Hold. Let's just kill this fucking
Bet on my screen, boys. Bet on my screen.
Go!
Get it.
Good shit. Good shit. Excellent shit, y'all. Proud of y'all. Good shit. That was good to watch.
What a poll.
And that's the video. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe and all that good stuff. I will be posting some Mythic Plus stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be posting anything about Mythic Bellerin because I'm not in on that boss, but I will be posting most likely a video for Midnight Falls once we kill that. That's probably not going to be for another few weeks. So yeah, if you want to stay posted, check out my channel. Peace.